This is the ultimate comparison video where I'll be comparing tools such as n8n, Zapier, OttoKit, Make.com or Pabbly Connect, which allows you to build MCP servers without code and for free. And if you stay at the end of the video, I'll be comparing these two on 5 parameters such as if they offer a free plan or not, how many integrations they support, what is the connection protocol they support with MCP, what is the best use case for this particular tool, and what are the limitations for this tool. And based on this data and information, you'll be able to figure out which MCP tool you can use for your particular use case. And not just that, I'll guide you how to connect these created MCP tools with AI models such as Claude Desktop and OpenAI. So let's understand what is MCP is first. MCP is a long form of Model Context Protocol, which is developed by Anthropic, which are the makers of Claude. The core reason behind building MCP is to give a consistent way to AI agents or AI LLMs to connect with your tools, data, or information available. And it is irrespective of where that tool is built or who built that particular tool. If you have used API in the past, APIs are inconsistent. For every other application, API format may differ, the authentication protocol may differ, or the body structure may differ. But MCP allows a consistent way where you can connect your tools to MCP server and then it further can connect to your AI model. You can see in this particular diagram how does MCP work, where you can see that there is first an MCP client, which is such as Claude or OpenAI Playground or any IDE tools like Cursor, Windsurf, etc. And then it is connected via MCP protocol to MCP server A and MCP server B. MCP server A is further connected to a local data source within your computer or local source. And MCP server B is connected to a web API. And web API is connected to HubSpot. You can see a logo here. So essentially it is like this. These are your LLMs or AI apps. It is connected to a MCP server. And MCP server is further connected to API 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. These can be connected applications. But the protocol we use on the internet to connect applications to each other is called API. So aggregating all the APIs at one place, connecting it to a MCP server, and then further connecting that MCP server to your LLMs or AI apps. And one more thing in this comparison, I'll be using n8n self-hosted version for this comparison. So if you want to self-host n8n for lifetime free, you can check my videos in the description. I have made a detailed guide on each step-by-step procedure how you can self-host n8n for lifetime free. Starting with the n8n has a detailed documentation on how you can create MCP server inside n8n. If you want to read this documentation, I'll make a link available in the description. Here I am inside n8n's workflow builder, and as you can see that I have already created a MCP server. But don't worry, let me guide you step by step. To create a MCP server in n8n, you don't have to visit any particular section for creating MCP server. You just have to create a new workflow. Let's assume this is a blank workflow. Then click on the plus button and search for MCP here. Once MCP is searched, please note that in n8n there are two MCP things. First is MCP trigger and second is MCP client. We don't have to consider MCP client here. We have to click on the MCP trigger here. Once the MCP trigger is selected, it is same as the webhook module. You have a test URL here and you have a production URL here. And you can set up an authentication structure for this too. For the simplicity of this video, I am not selecting any authentication structure here. And then you have to click on back to canvas. So you can see that a MCP server trigger is connected here. Now it's time to add tools to this MCP server trigger. Once you click on this plus button, you have options to add tools within this MCP server. You can search for any tool you want. Just for example, I have searched Google here. So you have Google Ads tool, Google Chat tool, etc, etc. And that's how you add tools within your MCP server. Let's see here the previous MCP server trigger I have made. So I've connected 5 to 6 different tools to this and which are particularly related to Google Calendar. You can see that the tools such as get availability, create an event, update an event, delete an event, get current date and time, and get many events in Google Calendar. So these tools are connected by just clicking here, searching for Google Calendar and adding a specific tools here. Let me open this get availability tool and show you how the configurations have been made. Here, the credentials to connect with. So you have to connect your Google Calendar account. So if you are self-hosted n8n, you'll have to connect your Google Calendar account using Google OAuth credentials. If you want a detailed guide on that, I also made a video on that. So you can check the link in the descriptions. Then there is an option for tool description. You can select as set it to automatically. You can choose calendar or event based on your use case. And then here operation is availability. So within this particular action, I'll be checking availability within a particular time period if I'm available within that time slot or not. So because of which I have selected calendar here and the operation is availability. And here is the calendar that I have selected. Here in the start time and end time, you can see that it is defined by model automatically. So if you open this action for the first time, you will be displayed a start time and end time like this, and you will have a stars button here. So you can just click on stars. So the AI model talking with this MCP tool will automatically fill these options. And that's about this get availability action. If I go to create an event action, similarly, you have to select the credentials, then the tool description to set it as automatically. Then the resource here is event. I have not selected calendar here because I want to create an event. Same, the operation here is to create. Then the calendar is my calendar. And here again, the start time and end time I have automatically defined. And there are few reminders option, attendees option, and all other options. So you can click on add field and add multiple other fields based on whatever preference you want inside a Google Calendar. And similar to that, I have added multiple tools here for Google Calendar. So you can consider that this is a MCP server I have created where I can talk with the AI, connect this MCP tool to the AI, and get the operations of Google Calendar such as getting the availability, creating an event, updating an event, deleting an event, or any particular action in Google Calendar can be executed externally with the help of AI model. Once I complete the process of explanation of creating MCP server in each of these tools, then I'll be explaining you process how you can connect with Claude or OpenAI platform and talk with your MCP tools. The next tool on our list is Zapier. So Zapier has a separate platform called as mcp.zapier.com where you can sign up using a free Zapier account and create MCP servers there. So let me log in quickly to my Zapier account and log into mcp.zapier.com. Here I am inside the Zapier MCP platform where I can create MCP servers. To create a new MCP server in Zapier, you have to click on this new MCP server button. Here the process is slightly different. You'll have to first select a MCP client. So I'll just click on any of the MCP client where I'll be connecting. So you can either select Claude, Anthropic API, OpenAI API, etc. or click on other. Please note that if you select Claude here, you will need a paid plan of Claude in order to connect with your Zapier MCP server. So instead, you can select other option here. So once other option is selected, Zapier will give step-by-step instruction how you can connect. And then you'll have to name a MCP server. I'll click on create MCP server. MCP server is created here. And here it's time to add your tools inside MCP server. Let's suppose I want to create an MCP server which has all of the tools related to Google Sheets. So I'll just click on add tool. Here there are thousands of apps which are integrated with Zapier. You can click on search 7,000 plus apps or use any of the app from here. I want a Google Sheets MCP server to be created. I'll click on Google Sheets and you can see that add all Google Sheets tools. So here you don't have to manually select any of the tool just like we did in N10. Just click on the plus button and adding each tool one by one. The option is very much simplified here in Zapier. You have to click on this add all Google Sheet tools. Once that is selected, your Google Sheet connection will be displayed in front of you. You can select that connection or make a new connection if you don't have. And then click on add all Google Sheets tools. With one click, you have added all the Google Sheets tools inside your Zapier MCP server. Once your desired tools are added, now it's time to connect. On the connect button, all of the instructions will be listed here. Now let's move to the third platform in the list, that is OttoKit. OttoKit recently added support for creation of MCP servers, and one good thing, it is completely free within the launch period. You don't have to pay anything to OttoKit for creating MCP servers. You can create a free account on ottokit.com. And once the free account is created, you can visit the OttoKit app. Once you sign up with your free account in OttoKit, you will be logged into your OttoKit dashboard. Here you will have to click on the left hand side on MCP button and you will be redirected to this MCP server page. I'm on business plan, but free plan will work for you too. To create an MCP server in OttoKit, it's pretty straightforward. You have to click on create MCP server button, type anything here and create a server. Once the MCP server is created, you will have to click on add tool button and here you can add as many as tool you want. Suppose for example, I want to add a Gmail action here. I have selected the connection and then you have to select the event's name. You can click on select all button. So all of the particular actions available within Gmail will be listed here and click on add tool button. Once these actions within the selected tool will be added here, you can click on this back button and then click on these three dots and click on configure. Here you will have options to select the platform and it will have a step-by-step process on how you can connect with the selected platform. Next tool in our list is make.com. Make.com recently added support for creation of MCP servers. You have to create a free account in order to use Make MCP servers. Once an account is created, you will be redirected to this dashboard. The setup is a little bit different. You have to click on scenarios first and click on create scenario, or you can create an existing scenario. Make called workflows as scenarios, so it is nothing different. Here in make.com, you have to make sure that you select here and select this run scenario button to on demand and click on the save button. Because Make MCP servers work differently. In Zapier, N10 or OttoKit, what we saw is to create a MCP server first, then add particular tools and then connect with your AI tool. However, in Make, the structure is a little bit different. You don't have to create a MCP server. Instead, you have to create scenarios which schedule settings are run on demand. Once these scenarios are created, you can create MCP server URLs and then connect it with your AI tool. Once you set up a particular scenario in make.com to run on demand, you can click on your profile and then click on API MCP access. Here you will have to click on add token button, and here you can select MCP token as option. You can name this MCP token as something as per your preference and click on add button. Once this is added, you have options to click on show scopes. You will have option to copy this particular MCP URL, and you have options to delete this MCP URL. So as I explained earlier, the setup is a little bit different here. And this is how to create a MCP server in make.com. Let's move towards our last platform, that is Pabbly Connect. Create a MCP server in Pabbly Connect. You can create a free account in Pabbly Connect. And Pabbly Connect has written a step-by-step documentation in their forum regarding how you can create a MCP server. Once you create a free account in Pabbly Connect, you will be redirected to this dashboard. Here, first you will have to create a workflow. Again, the setup is a little bit different here in Pabbly Connect. Once a workflow is created, you have to click on that particular workflow. If you want to add a particular action in MCP server, you have to click on these three dots, and then you have to click on add to MCP server. Here you will have to add a familiar name and familiar tool description. Similarly, if you want to add multiple tools inside your Pabbly Connect MCP server, you have to click on these three dots and click on add to MCP server. And once this added to MCP server, you have to click on settings and then click on MCP server button here. And here is the MCP server URL inside Pabbly Connect. If you scroll below, you can see the tools added inside this particular MCP server. One thing to note, Pabbly Connect doesn't allow creating multiple MCP servers or multiple MCP URLs. This is how you can create MCP server inside Pabbly Connect. Now it's time to connect the connected MCP server to Claude Desktop. To download Claude Desktop, you can go to Claude's website and download it for your desktop application. It is available for macOS, Windows and Windows ARM. The prerequisite for using Claude Desktop and MCP is to download Node.js. You can visit the Node.js website, link is available in the description. Then go to the download section, select your operating system and download the installer package and install Node.js on your desktop or computer. So you can install both two applications. Now I'm inside n10. Here I have created my MCP server. I'll copy the n10 MCP server URL, which is the production URL from here. And then I'll open a text editor. Here is a sample code which needs to be added in Claude for connecting to the MCP server. Here two things needs to be replaced. First is name. Now I'm connecting with my n10 MCP server. You can replace the name with n10. And then here inside URL, you will have to paste the URL copied from n10. The URL is pasted here. The code is ready for pasting it inside Claude. You can copy this code from here. Once the given code is edited and copied, you can open the Claude Desktop app. If you're on Windows, you can go to Claude settings. And if you're on Mac, click on the Claude icon at the top. You can click on settings. Once clicked on settings, a window like this will appear. You can click on developer. And then here you can click on edit config. Once clicked on edit config, a window like this will appear in front of you. You have to just find out a file named as claude_desktop_config.json and then open it with any text editor. I'll just open it with text edit and then I'll simply edit this and paste my code here. Here's the code I have pasted that we have configured earlier. You can see that the MCP server is n10 here and the MCP remote, and here is the URL of the MCP server. I'll just save this file, close this. I'll close the Claude. Make sure the Claude is completely closed and then I'll open the Claude again. My Claude has been restarted. I'll click on the settings icon and here you can see that a section named as n10. And inside n10 you can see all of the connected tools of Google Calendar are available here. Now let me quickly ask some questions to Claude. This is my query. I am going to ask Claude, hi, am I available between 7 to 8 p.m. IST today? Why this? Because the tools I have connected via n10 are the Google Calendar tools. Let me quickly query this. And you can see that get availability action has been triggered here. And this is the start time, end time that is figuring out. And you can see that no, you are not available between 7 to 8 p.m. IST today. So Claude has automatically connected to the n10 MCP, used the get availability actions and figured it out if I am available between 7 to 8 p.m. IST today or not. Since I am not available, you can see that no, you are not available between 7 to 8 p.m. IST today. So this is a complete answer. Let me ask quickly why I am not available at 7 to 8 p.m. I asked this query, why I am blocked at 7 to 8 p.m. IST today. You can see that it again connected to n10 and get many events in Google Calendar. This particular action has been triggered And you can see that you are blocked from 7 to 8 p.m. IST today because you have a meeting with Adam scheduled at 7:15 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. IST. And now you can see that our n10 MCP server that we've created has been successfully configured with Claude. Now let me quickly show you how you can connect Zapier MCP to Claude with the same setup again. To connect Zapier MCP with Claude free plan, specifically on desktop, you'll have to create a Zapier MCP server as I mentioned earlier with the client named as other. And once clicked other, you can click on connect button. And you have to select either streamable HTTP or SSE. I'll recommend you to select streamable HTTP because the SSE protocol has been deprecated. And here is the server URL. You can click on this copy URL button and then open the Claude again. Open the settings, developer, click on edit config, edit this file. And then you'll have to copy this code from here to here. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. Now here you'll have to replace n10 with Zapier. And then here you'll have to paste the Zapier URL. I have pasted the Zapier URL here. One more quick thing is to add a comma here. So here is the MCP code of n10. I've added a comma and then again the MCP code of Zapier. Now it's time to save this file and I'll close this file. I'll close the Claude window and then I have restarted the Claude. I'll click on this search tools option and you can see that the Zapier tools are available here. Similar to this, you can add any multiple MCP servers created in any of the application and add it inside Claude. So I have added n10. I have showed a demo of n10. Now let me show you a quick demo of Zapier. So in Zapier, I have added multiple actions related to Google Sheets. Let me ask a quick query. This is my query. Find me the list of customers in customer data sheet in Google Sheet. So I have connected all the Google Sheet actions to Zapier. And now it is using the Zapier tool and you can see that Google Sheets get many spreadsheet row, advanced, etc. And as you can see that on the screen, you can see that perfect. I have found all the customer list from customer data sheet in Google Sheet. And here is the customer list I have created in a Google Sheet. And you can see that it has given me a summary that I have total 10 customers, 6 are active customers, 2 are inactive and 2 are pending customers. And this was the Google Sheet I was talking about. So the Google Sheet has customer name, email, phone, city and status details. These are dummy details. Claude just queried the details using Zapier MCP servers where I have connected Google Sheets to Zapier MCP servers. And similar to the same process that I have explained for Zapier and n10, you can visit OttoKit and click on Claude desktop. One good thing about OttoKit is it automatically generates a code for you. It automatically generates the name and as well as the MCP remote URL that you are going to connect with Claude. And the process is similar for Make and as well as Pabbly Connect. Now let's see how you can connect your MCP servers created inside OpenAI Playground. So OpenAI Playground and ChatGPT are essentially two different tools. The support for MCP is not available in ChatGPT currently. So you have to go to playground.openai.com and you need at least $5 in your account to use this. So you can just recharge your account with $5. Here you can select MCP server and here is the option to add MCP servers. Zapier is already integrated with OpenAI Playground, but all other tools can be integrated by clicking on the add new button. Let's see quickly how Zapier works here. You can click on Zapier and here it asks for a Zapier API key. Let me quickly go to the Zapier dashboard. If you want to create a Zapier MCP server for OpenAI, you have to click on new MCP server and select the client here as OpenAI API. I've already did that, so I'll click on connect button. And you can see that there is a API key here. I'll just click on copy secret here. I'll paste my API key here. And once I paste the API key, you can see all of the tools I have connected with Zapier MCP servers are available here. I'll click on add. And you can see that the Zapier MCP tool has been added here. And you can chat with your MCP server from here. Let me ask the same query I asked Claude Desktop here in OpenAI platform. And you can see that within 11.4 seconds, it has fetched all the details from my Google Sheets using Google Sheets get many spreadsheet row advanced action. And here are the details within my Google Sheet. To connect any other MCP server other than Zapier, you can click on this plus button, MCP server, and then you can click on add new. And here you just have to add the MCP server URL. In OttoKit, this is my MCP server URL. I'll quickly copy from here. In my OpenAI Playground, I'll just type my URL here. I have labeled it as OttoKit. You can set a description, and here inside authentication, you can just select as none and click on this connect button. Once connected, you can see that all of the tools I have connected to my OttoKit MCP server are available here. You can click on add button. Now your OttoKit MCP server is available to chat with. And this is how simple you can connect any MCP server with OpenAI Playground 2. And now it's time for the final comparison. So here is the table. As you can see on the screen, I have curated with my research. Here I have compared these 5 tools. First is it is having a free plan or not. The second is how many integration it supports. Third is what connection protocol it supports. Fourth is how easy it is to connect tools with MCP. Fifth is what is the best use case you can use this particular tool for building MCP servers. And the sixth point is what are the main limitations of these tools. Most of the platforms has a free plan to use with. Since N10 is self-hosted, the free plan is unlimited N10. You have to make sure that you have to self-host N10, take care of its security and backups and all other things if you are using on production. For Zapier, it supports 300 tools action per month. This 300 action per month limit is separate for your Zapier MCP account. It is different from your main Zapier account. For OttoKit, since OttoKit has been recently launched their MCP servers, it is unlimited as of now. So don't have any limit on creating multiple MCP servers or multiple MCP tools inside it. It doesn't have any limits on MCP tool actions. For Make.com, it is the standard limit of free plan, that is 1000 operations per month. And for Pabbly Connect, it is the standard limit of 100 tasks per month based on its free plan. Integrations, N10 supports 500 plus integrations. Zapier is the best in this case if you want to just look out for integrations, which is 8000 plus integrations. OttoKit, which is slightly better than N10, which is 1000 plus integrations. Make.com has 2500 plus integrations, and Pabbly Connect has 2000 plus integrations. The MCP connection protocol that these tools supports are mostly SSE and streamable HTTP. The core difference between SSE and streamable HTTP is SSE has been deprecated as per the Model Context Protocol documents. This is the Model Context Protocol website, and you can see that here in this website, the SSE server sent events has been deprecated. So N10 supports SSE as well as streamable HTTP. Zapier supports SSE as well as streamable HTTP. OttoKit supports streamable HTTP. Make.com and Pabbly Connect both supports SSE. The next point is how complex it is to adding tools inside MCP server. So for N10 self-hosted, I showed you have to create a workflow, you have to add a trigger, and then click on the plus button and add multiple tools one by one. So it is moderately easy. Zapier, it is very easy to add tools inside your MCP server. You have to just create an MCP server, select a particular tool, for example, Google Sheets, and you have an option to add all tools inside Google Sheets automatically to your MCP server. The same case is with OttoKit. Make.com and Pabbly Connect, it is complex and hard. The Make.com MCP servers are fundamentally different. You have to create scenarios, or you can call it as workflows with Make.com, and you can run these particular scenarios or workflow using MCP servers. So fundamentally in N10, Zapier, or OttoKit, you have to add tools within your MCP server and not actual workflows. For Pabbly Connect, it is similar to N10, Zapier, or OttoKit. However, adding individual tools is very tedious in Pabbly Connect. You have to create a workflow. Then inside actions, you have to click on 3 dots and then add individual tool to your MCP server. And again, Pabbly Connect doesn't allow you to create multiple MCP servers. Now let's come to the best use case. What is the best use case you can use any individual tool for? For N10 self-hosted, best use case is it is unlimited because it is self-hosted, and it has multiple different advanced automation supports built for developers. Zapier is overall best. It has largest number of integration compared to any other platform. OttoKit, it is easier. And one more advantage of OttoKit, it is deeply integrated with WordPress. So if you are using WordPress and if you want to create MCP servers, Zapier will be able to do that too. The number of actions of WordPress applications connected with OttoKit is much larger. And then coming to the Make.com, it is again scenario based, and I didn't find any particular best use case for Pabbly Connect. So the main limitation of N10 is it requires self-hosting, it requires security, backups, etc. And it requires a web server too. The next limitation of N10 is it has fewer integrations. For Zapier, the limitation is it only supports 300 actions per month. For OttoKit, as it has less integrations. For Make.com, the setup is very complex. You have to create a scenario. In Pabbly Connect, you have to create a workflow. And inside that individual workflow, create on 3 dots and add individual tool to MCP server. So which is again very tedious. Comes to a main question, which tools I recommend? I recommend 3 tools out of these 5 tools. So first is N10, second is Zapier, and third is OttoKit. If you want self-hosted and more control over your data, you can use N10. If you want more integrations, any particular integration which is not supported by any of the application, you can use Zapier. If you want to create MCP servers with WordPress with more deep integration, and as well as if you want unlimited actions for a particular timing, you can use OttoKit too. And based on my overall experience, these tools are best. And that's it for this particular video. I spent much more time on researching these tools, creating this comparison. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for such a valuable content, and do share your feedback inside comments. If you have any questions or queries regarding MCP, how to connect to MCP, or any other questions, you can ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to answer as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye.